Hi, my name is Alex and I welcome you to today's video. Assassin's Creed Shadows on the Switch 2 is one of those games that instantly makes you curious about how far a portable console can realistically go. The idea of exploring feudal Japan, slipping across rooftops at night and stepping into large open-world settlements on a handheld-first system is ambitious. Ubisoft clearly wanted to bring the full experience over rather than a scaled-down side project, and that ambition shapes almost every part of this version. The story focuses on two protagonists, whose backgrounds couldn't be more different. One is a shinobi shaped by the shadows and the constant need to stay ahead of stronger foes. The other is a samurai, who has lived long enough to understand that honor and survival don't always line up. Their paths cross in a Japan marked by political tension, shifting alliances and the sense that the old order is slowly collapsing. The narrative moves at a steady pace, often letting quiet moments do the heavy lifting. Conversations with villagers, the way rumors spread, and how each character responds to the unfolding conflict help anchor the world without turning it into a movie that just happens to be playable. The gameplay sticks close to what Assassin's Creed has always done well. Movement across rooftops feels smooth, infiltration demands patience, and there's always more than one way to approach a target. Stealth is a genuine option instead of an afterthought, and the game rewards those who take time to observe guards, light sources and escape routes. Combat feels weighty, especially when using the samurai. His strikes have impact, and enemies don't simply melt away after a few hits. The shinobi plays completely differently, relying on mobility and precise timing. Switching between these characters changes the rhythm of missions in a satisfying way, and even long sessions avoid feeling repetitive. The world itself helps with that. Small towns, muddy battlegrounds, winding forests, each area pushes you to think differently about how you enter and how you get out again. A part of the game that deserves criticism is the way Shadows leans into its RPG systems. The game attaches level values to enemies, and the moment you run into someone who's even a little higher than you, fights start dragging on far longer than they should. Basic foot soldiers suddenly soak up damage like elite warriors, and you end up chipping away at health bars instead of relying on clean assassinations or well-timed strikes. It creates the feeling that the game is stretching its runtime rather than trusting its own mission design. At times it clashes with the fantasy the series used to thrive on, blending a route, striking with precision, and disappearing before anyone knew what happened. The good news is that Shadows doesn't lock you into the system. You can adjust the experience in the settings and push the game closer to something that feels more traditional, where enemies don't behave like punch-absorbing walls and stealth kills matter again. It doesn't fix every issue, but it does let you steer the game toward the style you prefer. For anyone who felt the later Assassin's Creed games leaned too heavily on RPG mechanics, this option makes a real difference. The technical side is where expectations matter. The Switch 2 version aims for a stable presentation rather than matching the high-end consoles blow for blow. Visually, the game keeps a lot of what makes Shadows atmospheric. The subdued lighting, the warm glow of lanterns at night, snowfall settling on armor, and the sense of scale in larger regions. Some elements are simplified, like certain reflections or distant foliage, but the artistic identity stays intact. Performance is locked at 30 frames per second, which is not the fluidity you'll find on a PS5 or a Series X, but the frame pacing is consistent enough that the game feels steady, both docked and handheld. Small dips can appear in the busiest areas, but they don't ruin the experience. Textures in handheld mode soften a bit, which you notice more during cutscenes than during gameplay. For a full open-world Assassin's Creed running on a hybrid console, the technical trade-offs feel deliberate rather than sloppy, even if they won't satisfy players looking for cutting-edge performance.
Someone else is coming to Iga?
After spending time with this version, it becomes clear who it's made for. If you want the absolute best graphics or the smoothest frame rate, the Switch 2 isn't the platform that will deliver that. But if the goal is to have a massive Japanese open-world Assassin's Creed available anywhere, the ports succeed far more often than it struggles. The atmosphere stays intact, the core gameplay loop remains engaging, and the open world still pulls you in. In the end, Assassin's Creed Shadows on the Switch 2 is a strong portable take on one of Ubisoft's most ambitious settings. It makes careful compromises but keeps the experience enjoyable, and the dual protagonist structure works surprisingly well in shorter play sessions. Fans who want this series on the go will get a lot out of it, and those new to the franchise won't feel like they're playing a lesser version. For these reasons I rate Assassin's Creed Shadows for the Nintendo Switch 2 an 8 out of 10. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below. If you liked it, we would be very happy about a like and a subscription. Or if you're interested in getting early access to our future reviews, feel free to visit our Patreon page.
My one-man army.
Closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.